Okay, in this lesson we are trying to understand what is Nmap. Overall, Nmap is used to discover hosts and services on a computer network. Through what? Through sending packets and analyzing the responses that are coming from the servers. Actually, Nmap provides a number of features for probing computer networks, and it can include like host discovery and the host discovery detection, service detection, and operating system detection. But for installing the Nmap, first of all, you need to use this sudo app install Nmap. As you're seeing in this picture, we have different types of commands regarding to Nmap, but the most important ones are these commands that you are seeing here. And again, between all of these commands, we have two important commands that can be considered the basic commands, but really important. Now I want to tell you about what's the main difference between TCP SYN-SCAN and TCP Connect Scan. But before knowing about that, you need to make sure that you completely understand about the three-way handshaking of TCP, which was the first way was the SYNAG, the first step, SYN, SYNAG, and AG. Like the first step was SYN, the second step was SYNAG, and the last step was AG. So if you don't know about what is TCP three-way handshaking, just make sure to know about that and then return back to the tutorial. So what is TCP SYN-SCAN? TCP SYN-SCAN is really popular and is the default scan in Nmap. Why it's popular? Because it performs so quick compared to the other scan types, and it's less likely to block from firewalls. And it has a really good definition when it comes to estate open estates, when it comes to the estates that are open, closed, and filter. I'm telling about which estate is open, which estate is closed, and which estate is filtered in the next part of this tutorial. And another thing that it's popular is sometimes it should be popular and sometimes it's not, because if you want to use that, it needs to have privileged root access. Okay, let's go to see what is open state, what is closed state, and what is filtered state, and how you can understand when you send in packets to the server which one is closed, which one is open. I mean, which port is open, which port is closed, and which port is filtered. So let's come back here. In the open state, it says that first of all, Nmap tries to establish a connection with this server. The name of this server is scanme.nmap.org. So it first sends TCP SYN packet, the first way of handshaking, the first step of handshaking. So the server doesn't know that this person is a hacker, so after this, the server sends a SYN AG packet to establish the connection. So it just says that, okay, my port is open, so go ahead. And now the hacker can understand that this port is open, and I can access to this port. So instead of having a fully connection that is done by hacker, actually hacker tells that no, I don't want to establish a fully connection, because the main reason that I send SYN TCP SYN packet at the first level was I wanted to understand if this port is open or not. So as soon as I got this thing, I don't need to establish a fully connection. So that's enough for me. Another thing is about the closed state. As you're seeing here, TCP SYN packet again is sent to the server, and what happened here is that the server, because here now in this this way actually the port is closed, so instead of sending SYN AG from the server to the hacker, the server just sends RST that says that sorry, the port is closed, and actually the server rejects the connection with what packet? Through RST packet. Why? Because the port is closed. So here hacker can understand that okay, the port is closed because I didn't receive any packets regarding to the, for example, Nmap. So here the port is closed. And the last part is about the filtered state, the filtered port. In this sense, as you are seeing, the server doesn't send any reply packet. And not only it doesn't send any Nmap packet, it doesn't send any RST packets to terminate the connection. And as you're seeing here, the hacker, it tries to just send a SYN packet to know about the, for example, is this port is open or not, and the server doesn't reply to him. That in this sense, Nmap decides that this type of ports are filtered ports. So the important thing that I want to tell you here is that default SYN scan sometimes is not enough for going to passing the firewalls, and it needs more improved techniques. As you're seeing here now, hacker cannot sleep through a network with firewalls, and it needs that you are doing more sophisticated and advanced technique. Okay, so we talked about TCP SYN scan, and now it's time to TCP connect scan. Okay, what is TCP connect scan? Here. As you are seeing in TCP connect scan, in a TCP connection, Nmap asks its underlying operating network to establish a connection with the target server by issuing the connect system call. Okay, but the problem here, what is the problem that do we have here? The problem that we have here is it takes to complete. Why? Because we are going to establish a fully connection. And so when we are trying to establish a fully connection, so it requires that we are generating more packets to obtain information. And that's it. And on the other hand, the targets are more likely to allow the connection because most of them are trying to establish a connection in the network, for example, like web browsers. But I don't want to go into all the closed state and the filtered state. In both of these commands are the same, but there is a difference in open state here. Let me show you in here. Okay. As you are seeing here, TCP connect scan sends a ACK packet instead of sending the RST packet. Here it's SYN, the first step. The second step is SYNAC, and here instead of sending RST, it just sends ACK to establish a connection. And after that, after establishing a fully connection, it resets the connection or kill the connection. So I think that's enough for the explanation. So let's go and go back into our tutorial to see into the lab, actually, to talk about what are those. Okay, don't need to understand all of this basic syntax as we're seeing here, but you need to know about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 5 steps actually, and you are going into the step 6, that is a challenge for you, and you are going for a research challenge. For example, what is TCP null scan? What is a xmas scan? That we are saying it's a Christmas tree scan. It needs that you understand about that. I put some comments on that, but you try to understand what both of them are telling to you in more detail. Okay, here first of all, we are going to perform a ping scan only. So how we can understand a server actually is up. The only way that we are trying is nmap that we can understand is through this command. Actually, this is the IP server that we have, and it's about the last semester, but now I'm telling you another IP server. So we are just copy and paste this command. And I want to tell you that I'm installing the Nmap. So you make sure that you install the Nmap as well. And I want to just put here scanme.nmap.org. So what it says here is that it tells us the host is up. So it's important the host is up, and we want to understand that is the this website is up or down. So the first level is complete. Let's go to the second level. The second step is that okay, perform a TCP connect scan against a single host, and after in the step 3 perform a TCP SYN scan. In the step 2 we are telling that perform a TCP connect scan, and in the step 3 we are telling that perform a TCP SYN scan against a single host. So the command for that is like nmap st and the name of that IP address. So here I just put this one here, and then again scan me.nmap.org. So I just want to tell you that there is actually there is no obvious difference when you are seeing the results. That's why I try to tell you what is happening in the background of this ST and SS, like a SYN scan and TCP connect scan. It just tells me that 34%, when you hit the enter, it tells you how much you had progress in scanning. For example, again, I just hit the enter, it tells me 50% is completed. And we were waiting to see how, when it's getting done. 65%. %. So it's normal that if you have a slow scanning, it's normal because we are trying to access the server and it's not so quick. So now we need to see the results here. So it tells you about the port, that what ports are open, what ports are filtered, and it tells you about the service that you have, for example SSH, SMT, HTTP, and other stuff. So another thing that we want to do is SS. As you're seeing here, this the third step, it's about the SS. Okay, so again we are coming back here and we are just type now it tells me that SYN scan needs root privilege. So I'm going into sudo or nmap sudo nmap ss scan me, and then it asks my password, and after I type in my password again it tries to scan. I have just 24% progress. 43%, I just hit the enter. If you want to know about how much you have progress in a scanning, you can just hit the enter. 66. And before getting to that, okay, again, as you see here, it tells me about the port, the state, and the service that we have here, and actually both of them look like the same. It tells me that here 992 closed ports, and here again 992 closed ports. So if you want to scan a specific port, actually you can do that as well. For example, let's go to the step 4, and you want to know about that the port 22. So I just, again, as you see, both of them are SyncScan and TCP connect scan. Both of these steps, step 4 and step 5. So let's go and see what's going on here. I'm just coming here and scanme.nmap.org, and again it asks me about my privilege mo sudo. So it just tells me, okay, 22 port of TCP is open. That's it. And let's go to ST. Why? Because here we want to, again in a step 5, we want to perform a TCP connect scan. So here I just type that, and again it tells me the port 22 is open. And finally, actually the things that you are seeing here, I tell you about what is the a difference between SyncScan and TCP connect scan. In previous terms, we have two challenges, and these challenges is what about, again, scanmap.nmap.org, scanme.nmap.org, and we wanted to know about that TCP port scan. For example, if we want to don't ping the host and pretending that the host is actually live, the host is up, in order to that the server doesn't understand we are a hacker and we want to know about which port of this system is open and which ports are closed, we are using the don't ping the host, and this is the command. For example, if you are just copy and paste this command in your Ubuntu, you are seeing what happened, and you are seeing that if the system is up or down. And about the perform a TCP port scan, again, we did that before in the above steps. And if you want to know about the version, like here, detect a software version, the only thing that you need to do is about typing SV. For example, in this example, in this part, you have everything st-p and 22. So if you want to understand about the version of the system, you are just typing sv, and I'm typing sv. And as you see, it tells you about, okay, this port is of a service of SSH, and the version and or the software version is Ubuntu Linux. And sometimes it's hard for hackers to access to Ubuntu Linux to hack the system, and sometimes it's easy for the hackers if they get that the operating system on the other side is Windows. So I think this lab is done. And okay, but the last part, again, detect the operating system version, that you are just putting O, and detect the service version for all ports that I tell you about, the SV and all. And that's done. So another research challenge that you need to know, you need to go and search it, is about what is a TCP null scan, and what's the difference between TCP null scan and traditional TCP scan. And another challenge, another question is about what is xmas scan. Try to understand what those are, and just make sure that you understand the concept. And that's it. I hope you can get all the basic concepts that we tried to explain in this tutorial.